I'm working up iPad and smartphone use in lectures. For example, I use Go Soapbox, which is a student polling and response program, web-based, during lectures to check students' understanding, for example, by putting up multiple choice questions that they can respond to live in the lectures as we go along. Go Soapbox also has a social Q&A tool which enables students to post comments and for other students to like them. And I've used this in lectures by opening up social Q&A, say before a break in the lecture, and allowing students to post comments and questions during the break in the lectures, and when the lecture's resumed, to then deal with the first 3 or 4 comments or questions that have risen to the top through students voting on them. Go Soapbox also has a discussion tool which I've used during lectures as well, and this allows students to comment during lectures as well. And one way I've used this is to say, give them a definition, for example, indirect aggression, and then get students to post examples of indirect aggression live during the lectures and to see what they come up with. And for this particular example, students came up with a lot of really good examples of what indirect aggression is, some that hit the mark, some that didn't hit the mark, and some that were quite amusing, which keeps us all entertained. It's important to plan to use tools like Go Soapbox and to integrate them to the lectures rather than bolt them on. And one thing that I've learned in using Go Soapbox is that the more interaction that you encourage in lectures, the more engaged students are in the lectures, that the less content you can cover. And so this is an incentive for us to really look at what content is essential to deliver in this way and what content can be delivered in alternative ways. So that's how students use their iPads and smartphones during lectures. I'm really excited about how they'll be using their iPads and smartphones related to their tutorial work next semester. Racism in public places, such as on public transport, has hit the media lately. And this coming semester, I'm working closely with Professor Kevin Dunn and Dr. Jacqueline Nelson, who have a large project on racism and bystander effects. This will be brought into the students' tutorial work, and they'll have the opportunity to observe racism and what bystanders have done in response to that racism in their communities. And then to be able to record those observations and their reflections on those observations soon afterwards using their iPads or smartphones and a purpose-designed survey. Don't focus only on the technologies and what are available and what the technologies can do. Blended learning is about learning, and so the emphasis should be on pedagogy and how the technologies can be used to enhance student learning. Second, remember that unit design and blended learning design is incremental, is iterative. Draw on feedback from your tutors, from students, and from peers. I've used a continuous improvement approach to improve my unit year by year, drawing on feedback from my tutors, students, and peers. And I've also worked closely with colleagues in teaching development and e-learning development and experts in student learning and assessment. Third, remember there are supports available to help you to design your unit for blended learning. Find out what supports are available in your school or the wider UWS. Develop networks around learning and teaching. Register for webinars on blended learning or attend the blended learning forums. Chat to people who are doing blended learning, find out what they're doing, and engage with people who are interested in the quality of learning and teaching related to blended learning. In closing, I'd like to acknowledge the supports I've received in the continuous improvement of my unit through the teaching development and e-learning development and student learning units in the university, and particularly through the terrific work that my tutors have done and continue to do, being engaged in the unit and providing me with valuable feedback about what works well and what needs to be improved. And of course, the continuous improvement can't be possible without feedback from students and their interest in the unit and how it can be improved for future iterations.